The man my grandmother chose to be my husband was already inside my head. He had been living there for 6 months. Let me back up. Because to understand how completely insane that Sunday dinner was, you need to understand two things about my life. First, my Lola Carmen has been threatening to arrange my marriage since I turned 25. Every birthday, every holiday, every time I showed up to a family event without a boyfriend, she would look at me with those sharp brown eyes and say, "Maya, I am not going to live forever." And I would laugh it off. Because it was a joke. It had to be a joke. We live in Los Angeles. It was not going to happen. Second thing you need to know, 6 months ago, I had the best night of my life with a man I never saw again. His name was David. That was all I knew. We met at a rooftop bar during my friend Carla's birthday, and I don't know if it was the string lights or the way he actually listened when I talked or the fact that he laughed at the right moments, but something about him just landed. We talked for 4 hours. 4 hours that felt like 40 minutes. And then one thing led to another, and I left before he woke up. I know. But I panicked. It felt too big for a random Tuesday night, and I didn't know how to hold something that felt that significant, so I just ran. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I'd forget him. I did not forget him. So, Sunday dinner. My mom calls me that morning and says Lola wants the whole family over. Bring nothing, just yourself, be there at 6. Normal enough. I show up in jeans and a burgundy blazer. My sister Jess is already in the kitchen stress-eating lumpia, and the house smells like adobo and something is off. I can feel it immediately. There are too many flowers on the table. Lola only puts out the good dishes for 2 occasions: Christmas and ambushes. "Jess," I whisper, grabbing her arm. "What is happening?" She gives me the widest eyes I have ever seen on a human face. "I tried to warn you. I texted you 3 times. My phone had been on silent." Of course it had. Before I can ask anything else, Lola appears in the doorway in her best floral blouse, looking like a woman who has already won a game I didn't know we were playing. She takes my face in both hands, kisses my cheek, and says, and I am quoting her exactly, "Mahal, our guests are in the living room. Go be charming. Guests. Plural." I walk into the living room and there are 3 people I don't recognize sitting on our couch. An older man with silver-streaked hair. A woman beside him with a polite, careful smile. And a man standing near the window with his back to me, looking out at the garden like he needed a moment of quiet in a loud situation. I recognize the set of his shoulders before he turns around. I recognize the way he holds himself, that particular stillness, like someone who is always thinking 2 steps ahead but never seems rushed. And then he turns around. And the entire room tilts. Dark eyes. The kind that go warm when something surprises them. And right now, they are very, very surprised. David. My David. The David who does not know my last name. The David I left sleeping in a hotel room on a Wednesday morning 6 months ago because I was too scared to find out what it meant that I didn't want to leave. He stares at me. I stare at him. The adobo smell is suddenly overwhelming. Lola steps between us with the energy of a woman lighting a match near fireworks, and she says, bright as anything, "Maya, this is David Chen. His family and ours go back 30 years. We have been talking, and we think the 2 of you would be a wonderful match." She pauses. She actually pauses for effect, my 74-year-old grandmother. "We would like you to consider a formal arrangement." The silence that follows is the loudest thing I have ever heard. And David Chin, the man I have been trying to forget for 6 months, looks at me with an expression I cannot read at all. It is not horror. It is not embarrassment. It almost looks like relief. And that terrifies me more than anything else in this room. Stay tuned for the next part.